Hello, everyone. This is Kendrick Dix for your pro wrestling show, AEW Dynamite Ring Report. Coming up, as you see all this, you see FTR having the back of TNT champion Warlow. What's going on? Is there a pinnacle reunion? We'll talk about it. Also, too, this man right here returns after 9 months. Kenny Omega returns to compete for these belts. Kenny Omega wants those six-man tag team title belts, and he do so. He returns. He returns in a fashion. Also, too, war of words between CM Punk and John Moxley. Who is the real AEW World Heavyweight Champion? These two men want to prove that they've been trading insults to each other, and we get to see it later on tonight. And to Jungle Boy getting his hands on Christian. Jungle Boy with the frustration, anger to Christian after Christian been calling him out for so long. We get to it as the AEW Dynamite Ring Report starts right now. Hello, everyone. This is Kendrick Dix here, joining here on the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. Thank you all for watching the Pro Wrestling Show. Like I said, first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. As you see right here, the one and only Kenny Omega returns. Kenny Omega returns back to AEW television. We'll get to him coming up. But we kick off AEW Dynamite with this confrontation that many people never thought would have imagined to take place. CM Punk made his return last week to AEW Dynamite, and CM Punk looking to grind some axes. He wants to say that he is the real AEW World Heavyweight Champion. CM Punk came out there to issue the challenge between him and Moxley. CM Punk took it upon himself to say, hey, we need to unify these titles, and we're going to unify these titles all right. I think between these two men, Moxley and Punk, they was trading jabs at each other. Moxley and Punk traded jabs saying that, hey, Moxley said about Punk, you just a one-trick pony. And Punk was saying, Moxley, you you bleed more than your wife. I mean, this is really getting ridiculous. I like, really? But they was trading insults, and they really did trade it. And to the point of no return. You can tell CM Punk and John Moxley wanting to tear each other's heads apart. When you think about long-term in the WWE history, CM Punk was the one that really propelled Moxley to have his career in AEW. CM Punk was the one that told, the hands to be, hey, I want to start a faction. I want to start a group. I want to start my own version. They started the Shield. And then with the Shield, you had CM Punk leading the charge, getting helped by the Shield. But that was a decade ago. But CM Punk and John Moxley wanted to tear each other apart, and rip their heads apart. And now it's been made official. I think they should have just waited till All Out to make this match. But they want to get this match on and done and ready. CM Punk and John Moxley one-on-one for the undisputed AEW World Championship. We're going to finally see one world champion being crowned at AEW. John Moxley was the interim champion. He's been a strong champion, a champion that everyone can talk about and rave about. But this is John Moxley's test to put up the shut up. And with the naysayers, CM Punk has something to prove that he is not a one-trick pony. He's not old, and many people think he is. CM Punk still got a lot of gas in his tank. I think he wants to make sure that he shows that at All Out, that next week's show, that he wants to show that he can lead being World Heavyweight Champion. But it's going to be a tall task for him, and with CM Punk comes great responsibility. But like I said, CM Punk being restrained. Someone put this meme saying that CM Punk being restrained by what's his name, Theory lookalike. I think that was kind of a little bit disrespectful if you ask me. But CM Punk wants to prove that he is the man that's going to lead AEW to the future and not Moxley. And so we'll get to see that match next week. One-on-one mano. Who is the true undisputed world champion? We're getting a lot of these undisputed world championship matches. They're not wasting no time. We get to see it next week for free TV. Maybe there might be a whole of them. They also CM Punk made mention of Heyman Page getting a rematch. So we haven't seen that yet, but we're looking forward to that. Also, too, Chris Jericho. Right here, Jericho stirring the pot. Chris Jericho stirring the pot. As Bryan Danielson went against Daniel Garcia in an instant class in a 2 out of 3 falls match that many people thought was the better match. Garcia won the second match and won with the upset. Garcia proven to be that he's kind of torn between the two. He doesn't really know what to do with Garcia now. With Bryan, I think Daniel Bryan's trying to get in his head and tell him like, "Hey, you are a pro wrestler, and you need to be." But Jericho's kind of giving him a choice, saying, "You need to make a choice. Either you are a sports entertainer or you a wrestler." I think Daniel Garcia now kind of torn. He is a wrestler, but I think he owes his debt gratitude to Jericho. So this might be a big swerve because his loyalty to Jericho, and Jericho's playing to T. So look for Daniel Garcia and Chris Jericho try to swerve Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan believing that he is trying to side with Garcia, and Garcia eventually turns his back and eventually does what he wants to do in the matter of that. So that's why I kind of see that going, if you ask me. But Daniel Garcia kind of torn that he doesn't know who his true stance is. And with Garcia, some say that Garcia could be the next future world champion in between. So we'll see that coming up. Also, too, Warlow. Warlow made a rare appearance. You see right here, Warlow teaming up his best buds from the group, from what's that group? The Pinnacle. We know MJL and Warlow were stablemates, but Warlow teaming up could be getting some help from his teammate FTR collecting championship belts around the world. This would be a true saying for them to help Warlow even the odds, and even that giant talking about try powerbomb me, and so that's gonna be a tall task. Warlow can powerbomb that man. That's gonna be the funniest thing I ever seen. But FTR wanted to get their hands on Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt. You know, Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt want championship gold. They're gonna want to get it some way, somehow. But Warlow, even the odds, even it the way he sees fit. So look for Warlow and them to team up in a 6-man tag team match sooner rather than later in the odds of that set. Also, too, Jungle Boy made an appearance. Jungle Boy taking out his anger and frustration out on Christian Cage. Jungle Boy making Christian Cage pay for what he said, attack them, pay for what he said about his late father, Luke Perry. Pay for everything that Jungle Boy did. Jungle Boy getting retribution, revenge. And Jungle Boy won a match to challenge Christian to a match at All Out. Christian said no, but I think it's going to happen eventually. So look for Jungle Boy and Christian to tear each other apart one way or another down the road. So look for that. I think Jungle Boy kind of trying to show that aggression that many people thought Jungle Boy didn't have. Jungle Boy, what Christian was doing to Jungle Boy, weeks and weeks trying to embarrass Jungle Boy, talking about want to sleep with his mom and stuff, and Jungle Boy having the courage to fight back and saying, no, I'm going to fight you. And this was kind of like the aggression we saw earlier tonight. Also, too, the Gun Club. That Billy Gunn's own sons attacked their father and beat their father up and joined Stokely halfway. So the Gun Club don't need their dad. And so I guess they're saying, I don't know what's going on. Everything ain't coming apart in pieces. I think they're just trying to find ways and find means. But that's what it's gonna be. Billy Gunn getting beat up. The claim came out there to help and aid, but after what they did to Billy Gunn, I don't know. It's kind of like a twist and turns, if you ask me. But we'll see the claim and the Gun Club go against each other rather than what they trying to do. Billy Gunn had to set up saying, "Y'all gonna tag me." That's what it looked like, and that's what it seemed like. All right, we'll see. Also, too, we said about Danny Bryan, Dan Garcia had that instant classic match. Also, too, was the 6-man tag team match as the elite. Yeah, the elite back, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are back, and they was gunning for these championships. They want these 6-man tag team championships at All Out, and they can do so. They had to end the tournament. When they entered the tournament, um, well, tournament it was Roosh and Andrade teaming up against Dragon Lee. Couldn't get the job done, which that was kind of messed up. But Roosh and Dragon Lee lost, lost, and they attacked Dragon Lee, leaving Dragon Lee out and leaving massless. I don't know what's going on. It's just like so much confusion going on in AEW. It's so much confusion when you look at it and you think about it. Roosh and Dragon Lee, with the confusion, with that being in mind, being sane and stuff, how you see it, and how it comes out. So Roosh and Dragon Lee lost their opportunity and took it out on Dragon Lee. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega advance, and Kenny Omega looking like the star he is. Kenny Omega is back, and Kenny Omega is back in attack. And a lot of people are already playing that Don Callis and Kenny Omega ain't gonna be together. We got to see how this all gonna play out. And they love doing that, but we had to see. Just wait and see. But they want those 6-man tag team titles, and they have to go. They have to win that trio tag team tournament to do so. So we got a lot of teams. You got FTR and Warlow, one they could challenge for. There's a lot going on. Even for Tony Khan, even presenting that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, making his return to TBS. Why is he doing stuff like that? Building stuff. What is he getting at? Promoting Ricky the Dragon Steamboat making his return to TBS. You didn't say why would he return to TBS on WCW? Just crazy, but it is what it is. But that was the ending. I think Kenny Omega made a real impression tonight. Even so, with this, it was impactful right here. John Moxley and CM Punk coming back and coming back stronger than ever before. And I mean, like, this is the match that I want to see. We'll get to see it between Moxley and CM Punk next week on TBS for the undisputed AEW title. So we'll see who's the best. Moxley. That should just say that should be a pay-per-view match, not a TV match. But Tony Khan making the same mistakes like he say he ain't, but he is. That ain't logic to me. He want to sell it. So kind of crazy why he's doing that. But I hope it leads to no finish. They have that match at September for All Out. All right, that ends the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. We're gonna quickly move over to Wrestling Hot Topics. Like anything on Wrestling Hot Topics this week? Yeah, WWE signed these 17 people right here to a contract. So these 17 people will be making their debut in WWE sooner rather than later for the NIL program, next in line program. So we'll see them next in line in that program. All right, and we know that Clash of the Castles coming up. So we'll see Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre build up their story, continue on, and see watch the SmackDown report this weekend for more details on that. So we're gonna end on that note. So for me being Kendrick Dix, we're gonna end it with Kenny Omega making his return back to AEW tonight, advancing in the 6-man tag team tournament with his friends, the Young Bucks, advancing the trios tournament, the crown new trios titles champions. Ken Omega, we knew it was coming. It was inevitable. But many people like, when's coming? I told you he was coming. But thank you all for watching the Pro Wrestling Show. We'll see you Friday for the SmackDown Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendrick Dix, saying so long, and we'll see you next time for another